Originally, I trained to be a child psychologist. When you're a child psychologist, you always have 3 patients, mother, father, child, and it's quite hard. So I ended up living in Los Angeles teaching aerobics. But Jane Fonda obviously was a very high-end studio full of Hollywood producers and actresses and actors and singers, but they were all obsessed with what they looked like. It really interested me even then that people who had everything, the highest success, didn't actually ever feel good about themselves. They were under tremendous pressure too. So I trained in hypnotherapy with the idea of simply working with people that had eating disorders, but very quickly I started to work with people that had every kind of disorder. And it was really fascinating how hypnosis will activate what it is that stops people being confident or stops them being the way they want to be. And I had so much success in that, and that kind of led me on to working behind the scenes on lots and lots of television shows. And then I actually started to work in front of the camera on quite a lot of television shows. And then I wrote several books and got my own column in several magazines and newspapers and lectured all over the world. I've been a therapist for over 25 years, and all the clients I see, even beautiful famous people, tend to have problems with relationships because their problem is they don't think that they're lovable enough. Even top models come to me with a problem in not feeling good enough. If you want to have a fantastic relationship with someone who is worth being with, you have to feel that you're worth it too. Our thoughts are an energy that radiate out from us and back to us like a magnet, people who match our thinking. That's why beautiful women get dumped all the time, because they may look amazing but they don't feel it. The thing you need to do to attract a fantastic relationship is to really believe you're lovable, to radiate the energy of someone who feels lovable. And once you do that, you'll attract people into your life who match that. One of the reasons people feel better when they have surgery or buy a new outfit is that it raises their self-esteem, but just for a little while. And once you increase your sense of self-worth and self-value and self-esteem, you'll attract so many other people who do exactly the same thing. Once you believe you're lovable, you'll find someone who also believes that you're lovable. So if you want to have a loving, lasting relationship, it's easy to say believe you're lovable. You need to hear that over and over and over again for about 3 weeks, by which time your mind will completely accept it, because your mind will pick it up, it will start to believe it, it will bring it back to you. Confidence is really what you feel about yourself. You can all put on the bravado and go, I'm the greatest, I'm the best, but if you don't really believe that inside, it's kind of fake. So you might be able to blag your way through certain things, but when you have real confidence, the difference is you like yourself, you like who you are, you're not arrogant, your life isn't perfect, but when you really and truly like yourself, your life is much, much, much happier. And the other thing about confidence is you don't have the internal voice going, oh my God, you fucked that up, or oh, you did that wrong, or you're such an idiot. You stop all that and you're actually nice to yourself. Most of the people I work with on confidence want to be confident enough to ask for a pay rise, to get a better job, to go for an interview and to come across as the best person in the room. They want confidence to speak in public, to give a sales. But a lot of my clients who say, I want to lose weight, but all my friends go out for a pizza and they can't say, oh, excuse me, waiter, I don't want a pizza, I just want a salad, because they haven't got the confidence to draw attention to themselves and say, I don't want that. They can't say when everyone's ordering fish and chips, I just have fish without the batter on it, because you have to actually like yourself enough to say, I don't eat that kind of rubbish, can you get me something else? And a lot of people just can't do that because they feel uncomfortable asking for different things. They feel uncomfortable sending food back. I mean, one of the things I do in my book is show people even how to get a discount, because when you like yourself, it's amazing what you can do. You can get money off, you can get upgraded, because you approach all of that with a very different air, which is not arrogance, it's a kind of quiet self-esteem that makes people like you and want to do things for you. So a client would come to me and go, oh, I'm not confident, I couldn't possibly, put myself forwards. I worked with somebody years ago who said, I want to be a famous actor, that's all I've wanted to do, but I could never get an agent, I could never go for auditions, and I could never put myself on stage. So clearly that was a great problem if you wanted to be an actor. So when somebody comes in and says, I'm not confident, I've never been confident, I don't know how to ask someone on a date, I don't know how to ask my boss for a raise because I am not confident and I've never been confident, that's not true. You will never find an unconfident baby. If you take your baby home from hospital and shut it in a room, you can guarantee it's going to scream for hours, because the baby's belief is, I'm here, I'm gorgeous, someone's going to come and feed me even if it's 3 in the morning because I deserve it. And all babies are born with incredible confidence. You try telling a 2-year-old they can't have an ice cream, they don't go, oh okay, they ask you 8, 9, 10 times. times because they have a belief that says, if I ask, I'll get it. If I keep going, I'll get what I want. We're all born with that. Unfortunately, life experience for many people tend to diminish it. So what hypnosis does, it will take you right back to the time where the innate confidence that you were born with started to diminish. And it will show you what happened. Instead of people going, I've never had confidence, they go, oh, I see, right, when I was 2 or 3 or 4, that happened. And that made me feel that I shouldn't be confident. And once they've accessed that information, they can never again say, it's just me, I can't help it. So they go, oh yeah, I see, that happened, but now that's not me, and I can be confident all over again. Hypnosis is great because it shows you the little kind of journey you went on and where your confidence went, but it also shows you how to get it back and keep it forever. For instance, you're reading in school and you want to read the word stomach and you say stomach and all the kids laugh at you, and then you think, I'm never going to speak in public again. The number one thing people want is to be comfortable with others, to be able to speak, to be able to give presentations. But for a lot of people, it's actually just going out on a date, being around people, not feeling inadequate. So that the number one things are getting away from this feeling of being inadequate, not putting yourself down, and being comfortable talking to all kinds of people. Because how the brain works, I mean, people think the brain is complicated. It's not. Your brain's number one job is to find out what causes you pain and then make sure you never, ever, ever go through that pain again. If you have to read in class and you try to read the word soiled and you say solid because you're nervous and all the kids laugh at you and you go bright red and then they laugh at you a bit more, your brain searches what's caused this pain, speaking in public, drawing attention to yourself. And then it goes, right, well, my job is to make sure you don't experience pain, so you're never going to speak in public again. You're never going to draw attention to yourself. And if you try to, I'm going to give you a massive panic attack, and that way you won't experience pain. So the brain does what it thinks you want, but of course it's not what you want at all. And so many people who want to speak in public just can't because they've had these negative experiences in their past. And it's very easy to get rid of them once you access that. Your brain always does what it thinks you want, but it's usually acting on information that is years and years old and is completely irrelevant. There's 2 things you can do that I promise will change your life. One is stop criticizing yourself. If you just imagined you're walking around with a little tape recorder listening to yourself, and the minute you get up, you look at them and go, oh God, I look terrible today. I look awful. This outfit looks horrible on me. I've gained weight. And then they go to work and go, oh God, I forgot to charge the phone. I'm such an idiot. Then they come home and go, oh, I've ruined that thing now. I put too much salt in it. And if you imagine if you spoke to your best friend like, you look awful in the outfit, you're a complete idiot because you forgot to charge your phone. You've ruined the thing you're cooking. You're never going to get there on time. You're a twit because you came out without the map. If you spoke to your friend like that, they wouldn't be your friend for very long. I mean, I like my friend. I would never say to her, you're such a stupid cow, because I like her. And if I wouldn't say that to my friend, why would I say that to myself? Be your own friend. Listen to how you talk to yourself. And then just change it. Instead of saying, I'm such a moron because I went out with that direction, go, yeah, I did. I went out with that directions, but I won't do that again. Next time I'll remember. And if you go out the address, instead of going, God, I forgot the address, what an idiot. Just go, it's okay, I'll call them. They'll give me the address. So stop this negative criticism, because the problem with the mind is that while it will screen out to a degree criticism that comes from other people, what you say to yourself, your mind believes without question. And the most important words you'll ever hear are the words you say to yourself, but you have great power to change them. That is the most important thing, to stop this criticism and to stop this negative voice in your head. Like when my daughter comes home because she's forgotten something, I always say, what have you remembered? I never say, what have you forgotten? I've remembered something, not I've forgotten something. So like yourself, treat yourself the way you treat your best friend. Be nice to yourself. We're designed to change habits. It's very easy to change habits. When people say, I can't change, that's so wrong. We are designed to change. Make a mental note, or even a real note. Write down on your phone or in your notebook how many times you call yourself names every day, and then change that. So if you call yourself a bloody idiot or a moron, stop it. Just say to yourself, I'm a human being. I'm allowed to make mistakes. The person who never made a mistake never made anything. And how you learn is from making mistakes. So when you make a mistake, go, I learned from that. That's a learning curve. I won't do that again, rather than calling yourself names. It won't stop forever. You're still going to call yourself names. When you do, just go, that's not true. I'm not that. I'm just forgetful. Years ago, my daughter must have been a therapist's daughter, because I went to pick her up from school when she was about 6, and her teacher went, oh my God, I've just been been put in my place by a 6-year-old because I said to her, "Oh, your mother's hopeless." And she went, "My mum is not hopeless. She's just late. You're not your behaviour. You can be late, but you're not that. You're just late." So instead of going, "Oh God, I'm hopeless," you go, "No, I'm not hopeless. I'm late. I'm not stupid. I just dropped something." So it's the same thing. Don't give yourself these labels, hopeless, idiotic, moron. Instead say forgetful or a little bit late. Your body has to match your thinking. It's never going to be the other way around. You have to act in a way that absolutely matches your thinking. So when you say, "I'm clumsy, I'm forgetful, I'm clumsy, I'm forgetful," you can guarantee you become clumsy and forgetful. If you say, "I've got fantastic memory, I remember everything," very quickly that will actually become the case. You may wake up believing that you feel terrible, but that's because you keep telling yourself that you're terrible. If you wake up going, "I'm shattered, I'm exhausted," then that's how you feel. If you go, "Yeah, I'm a little bit tired, but I'll be wide awake in 10 minutes. What you say becomes what you are. The way you are is only down to 2 things, and they are the pictures you make in your head and the words you say to yourself. So when you say, "I'm exhausted and I'm shattered," that's a very, very powerful picture and a very powerful word, and you have to respond to that. When you go, "I'm mildly tired, but I'll be wide awake in 15 minutes, it's a very different image that you respond to. So you have a huge responsibility to be aware of the pictures and words you're making, and when you change them, literally it will change your life. Physical exercise makes you feel great because when you exercise, by nature, you start being nice to yourself. You think, "Oh, this is good, I'm doing this. I can do more sit-ups this week than I did last week." So by nature, any exercise that you're doing tends to make you be nicer to yourself. We're all designed to run and jump and leap, but if you exercise and hate it, that really doesn't work. So you've got to do an exercise that you love, and you don't have to do it every day, but every other day is good. You shouldn't be doing that 90 minutes of hard slog that you hate. Skipping for 10 minutes on a trampoline is better for you than going for an hour run because you're protecting your joints. It's not going to exhaust you and you'll enjoy it more. Don't criticize yourself is number 1, and don't let in negative criticism from other people is number 2. One of the most important things is not to let negative criticism in. So when someone says to you, "You look dreadful in that," what you should say is, "Oh, thanks for sharing." But you don't have to let that in. Very happy people by nature are benevolent, and very miserable people are quite critical. So when people are happy, they don't say mean things. And when people are unhappy, it's like a pecking order. A miserable person wants you to be miserable, then they feel equal. So they will often say things to put you down. And it's very important to not let that in. So if someone says something really mean or spiteful or cruel, you can either say to them, "Gosh, you don't like yourself very much, do you? Or you must be having a really bad day to be like this." Say to them, "You know what? Critical people have the most criticism reserved for themselves. And I've sort of realized that everything you say to me is actually what you feel about you." And if you keep telling them, "Oh, you're showing me again how dissatisfied you are with you," believe me, they very quickly stop because they know that you've got it. Because that's what critical people are. The person they are most unhappy with is themselves, and they reflect that out, not in. So just saying to them, "You're very unhappy with yourself. You're showing me how dissatisfied you are with you," makes them stop and think. Or you can just say, "Thanks for sharing. Luckily, I don't agree with you." And you see, you're not letting it in. And if it's your boss and it's not appropriate to say, "Thanks for sharing, but I don't agree with you," just decide, "I'm not going to let that in. It's not true. They're having a bad day," and just let it go. I love this story about someone who went to see a holy man and was saying to him, "You know, everything you say is rubbish. It's all bogus. It's all stupid." And he continued to smile and beam and smile and beam. And this poor journalist who wanted to diminish him got more and more exasperated. Finally said, "I don't understand. I'm criticizing you. Why are you smiling?" And he went, "Well, you see, if you try to give me a gift and I don't accept it, who's got the gift?" And he went, "Me." "Well, exactly. I don't accept these comments." And that's the truth. If someone's trying to give you something and you don't accept it, they haven't given it to you. So people can say very mean, unkind, harsh things, but you don't have to let them in because it's usually about them. And you just have to deflect that and not let it in. Just be aware, don't let it in. You don't have to let anything in unless you choose to. So if you want a reduction on a price, you must never ask a question that someone can say no to. So you don't say, can I have a discount? Because they say no. You don't say, can you reduce this? Because they say no. You say, what's the best price you can give me on this? You have to always ask people a question they can't say no to. How much are you going to take off for this? What are you going to give me in addition when I buy this? And if they go, well, we can't reduce it, go, that's fine, but what can you give me? Can you give me an extended warranty? You kind of ask people questions that they have to say yes to. It takes self-esteem to do that, but when you do it the first time, you probably feel really nervous and worried, but when they actually do it, you think, wow, that worked. And then you feel more comfortable doing it again and again and again. It's like guys asking girls out. First time, it's really nerve-wracking, but they say yes, they think, oh, good, they said yes, I'll ask another girl out. And it becomes easy because the more you do it, the easier it is. The easier it is, the more you do it. But don't ask questions that people can say no to. So if you want a pay rise and you say to your boss, you know, I've been looking at what someone doing my job for this amount of years gets paid, and I don't get paid that. So what can I do to get that pay? They can't say no to that. And even if they say, look, we can't pay you this much at the moment, go, that's okay. What can you do? Can you give me extra holidays? Can you give me perks? Ask a question in a different way, because when you stop hearing the word no, it grows your confidence again, because you're learning great negotiating skills, which start by never asking a question that someone would say no to. Every time you get up, I want you to say out loud, I am enough. Say it when you clean your teeth, say it when you're in the shower, because if you link that to teeth cleaning and showering when there's nothing else you can do, you say it all the time. The number one reason people have issues is they don't feel enough. They don't feel pretty enough, smart enough, talented enough, rich enough. As we get older, we do that. Oh, I've got cellulite, I'm not a size 6, I haven't got a designer wardrobe, therefore I'm not enough. And that isn't true. So every day, say many times, I am enough. And very quickly you'll start to feel that. And then when you say to yourself things like, yeah, but I'm not enough because I don't earn X amount, you just go, well, that's true, but I'm still enough. I haven't got a designer wardrobe, I'm still enough. I haven't got a posh car, I'm still enough. You sort of run out of objections, then your mind goes, you know what, you say this so much, it must be true, and then it lets it in. But keep doing it even after you've let it in. Say it 10 times in the morning and 10 times at night, and that's fine. That's all you have to do. And if you're going for an interview or going on an important date or about to meet someone really hot, just keep saying again, I'm enough, I'm enough, I'm enough. Because when you know that you're enough, nobody can ever make you feel less than them. That is the most important thing in the world, to know that you're enough. And we all are enough, more than enough.
The reason why I'm enough is so powerful is that, you know, any psychiatrist will tell you that the common denominator of people's emotional issues come from not feeling enough. If you came in with your problem and it's like an onion and you're peeling away the layers of, you know, I don't feel pretty enough, I keep eating cake and cookies, I don't ever get to go to the gym, or I don't ever seem to reach my potential. Whatever problems people come in with, the real crux of all their problems is they don't feel enough. They don't think they're good enough or lovable enough or smart enough or interesting enough. That is a modern problem we have, that most people don't feel enough. And if you look at Marilyn Monroe or Princess Diana or Amy Winehouse or Philip Seymour Hoffman, there's so many people who had everything. What they also had was this belief that I'm not enough. Michael Jackson was the same. We see so many people who have everything. We see so many people who are beautiful and depressed. You can look at Britney Spears when she started to shave off all her hair. You can look at people in the music business and see, oh, there's something not quite right here, because when you go into that world, you always have to be thinner, prettier, better, and they start to have surgery because they want to be something else. It's a great shame that we're teaching the generation of women that natural breasts and natural butt, that's not good enough, and they've got to look ridiculously high and round. And we look at people like Nicki Minaj and think, well, that's normal. And it's a great shame that we're bringing up a whole generation of girls who think that they're not enough just the way they are. I really blame the media for that. And of course now men are getting that too, because they look at guys with 6-packs. And the way around that is to say every day, I'm enough. I always have been. The day I was born, I was enough, and I'll be enough right up until the day I'm no longer on the planet. I'm enough, and I always have been, I always will be. When people want to find love, they start to try and change their outfits. They go on a diet, they buy nicer clothes, they get their hair done, they get their nails done. I'm talking about women, but men are the same. They try also to buy a new outfit and to turn up in a nicer car, even if they've just leased it, because we're saying, look, I've got all this stuff, this great body, so therefore I must be enough. But when you know you're enough, when you can say every day, I am enough. Yes, I've got cellulite, I'm still enough. Sure, I could be 10 pounds lighter, I'm still enough. I don't have a nice car, I'm still enough. Your brain will never argue with that. When you start to go, yeah, I'm a goddess, I'm a rock star, your brain goes, you're not really a goddess. You're not really a rock star because you're driving around in this little crappy rented car. When you say I'm enough, it's so true that your mind will never, ever, ever object to it. And once you know that you're enough, and it doesn't take long to know it, everyone around will also know that you're enough. So when you elevate your own value, everyone around you also elevates their value. When you increase your own sense of self-worth, self-value, and self-image, everyone around you will start to also increase their sense of what you're worth. But you see, a lot of people are very arrogant because they're trying to persuade everyone that they're something. That's the other end of the scale of insecurity. You don't have to convince anyone except yourself. I'm a great believer in putting I'm enough on your phone alert so it pings every morning at 8 o'clock and 8 o'clock at night says I'm enough. Write it on your mirror in huge lipstick letters. Put it on your screensaver and say it to yourself. I'm a great believer that when you're cleaning your teeth or having a shower, that's the time when you go, I'm enough, I'm enough, I'm enough. Because what else are you going to do when you're in the shower? You know, that's a good time to link in a behavior. And as you start to say it, your mind will start to very, very quickly believe it. And then you will start to feel it. So it's really important to tell yourself that you're enough on a regular basis so that your mind really, really gets it and lets it in. And then you can have anything you want, but it really starts with knowing that you're enough. And if you don't know you're enough, no one else will know it. And if you want love, you know, the thing you have to believe is that you're lovable. Getting a new outfit to believe you're lovable is very superficial, but saying I'm enough, I'm lovable, I'm great will make the person you're dating also believe that. And in a professional capacity, if you say that at work, your colleague, your boss, your clients, your customers will also start to believe that too. But until you believe that you're enough, no one else is going to believe it if you don't believe it. You know, Muhammad Ali, he was the best example of that ever. He said, you know what? I said I was the greatest before I even knew I was, and then, wow, something really weird happened. I became the greatest. He would go into the ring going, I'm the greatest, because he wanted really to defeat his opponents, but because he said it so much. And he never said it with arrogance. He said it in an interesting way that made us all love him for it. And no one said, wow, that Muhammad Ali is arrogant. No, he's the greatest. That's what he is. He said it, and we believed it. And it's very important that we understand that what we say about ourselves is an energy, and the energy goes out into the world, and people match and return what you think about you. Of course, you know, there's that arrogance of I'm brilliant me, I'm great me, but we know that it's not real, and so we don't believe that. And then we get other people who are very self-effacing and modest, but what you really believe about yourself to be true, people will pick up. That's good news. But the other good news is that you can choose every day what to believe about yourself. And why would you ever think you're not enough? There isn't a baby on the planet who isn't born knowing they're enough. So you've got to tell yourself you're enough. And because you came onto the planet with that belief, all you're doing is reactivating and regenerating something you were born with anyway. It's nothing unusual, just getting back something that really is your birthright. Your mind will never disagree with the fact that you're enough. First of all, because you were born with knowing that. You know, if you took a baby home and shoved it in a cupboard, it will cry for days because its inner belief is someone is going to come and attend to my needs because I deserve it and I'm worth it. Of course, it's a bit like if you bring home a puppy or a kitten, they'll bound up to you and go, I'm here, cutest thing, and you are going to attend to my needs. Because if you kick that puppy enough, it will start to run off and hide behind the fridge and think, oh, maybe I'm not enough because no one here likes me. That must be my fault. Very much like humans. But we all start off knowing that we're enough. And so repeating that every day is such an easy thing because your mind will never object to it. It will never argue with it. It will never resist it. And no one else will ever go, no, you're not enough. But the other great thing is it's not a competitive thing. You're not saying I'm enough, but they're not. What you're saying is I'm equal to everyone in the world and everyone is equal to me. So I can go to my boss and ask for promotion because I'm good enough. I can go to my boss and instead of begging and pleading for a pay rise, I can go, look, you know, I'm putting in these hours, I'm doing this, and I really deserve it, and I'm worth it. Because when you elevate your sense of self-worth, and it's real, it's genuine, it's authentic, people around you really get that thing of, yeah, you are worth it, and you do deserve it. when people are stuck in a job they don't like and they're not getting the salary they think they should get, they usually have an inner belief which is, I'm not worth more, I don't deserve more, I can't ask for more. And it's always interesting to find out, where does that come from? Where did you ever get that belief that you're not good enough, smart enough, pretty enough? Usually it's come from someone else. It's very rarely come from you. And so I tend to go back and have a look at that, because all babies come on the planet with the same belief. I'm here, I'm gorgeous, someone's going to come and take care of my needs. If you're stuck in a relationship that isn't working for you, if you're stuck in a career that isn't making your heart sing, if you haven't got what you want, it's because you're dialoguing with yourself very bad. Some people will say things like, my job's a nightmare, my career is stressing me out, this paperwork is driving me up the wall, or these kids are making me insane. You're telling your mind you don't want what you've got. Or for instance, if you want to have your own business and you say, well, I really want that, but I'm going to have to put in all these hours, there's no sick pay, there's no holiday pay, I've got to work weekends. When you tell your mind that what you want is going to cause you pain, it will do everything to stop you getting it. So the way around that is you've got to say, I want it, I've chosen it, I want to put in the hours, I want to be up all night with a brand new baby having no sleep. The minute you can get your brain to not only see that you want it, but to link pleasure to it. If you look at how athletes work, athletes never go, yeah, I'm training Olympics, oh, it's so boring, or yeah, I'm training for the Olympics, it's so hard, it's so tough, I can't go out drinking with my friends. They have to tell their mind, I want it, want it, want it, want it, want it. And if you study any athletes, they're very disciplined, but they don't bitch and moan. They say, no, I like it, I love training, I like having this clean diet, I enjoy it, I love performing. They never go, oh my God, going out stadium crowds is terrifying. They have to tell themselves better things. And of course, I work with a lot of Olympic athletes and royalty and rock stars. The ones that make it do the same thing. They constantly tell themselves, I want this, I've chosen this makes me feel good, I like putting in the hours, I like what I have to do, it makes me happy. Because your brain's job is to come up with resistance to anything you tell it you don't want to do. And when you go, I want it, in the same way that junkies go, I want to stick a needle in my arm, they don't go, oh, it might hurt me. They link pleasure to it. And you get to choose every day what to link pleasure to. And you have to learn to link pleasure to where you want to go. Because if you link pain to it, you're not going to get there. Your brain believes everything you tell it. Your brain doesn't care if what you tell it is right or wrong, good or bad, healthy or unhealthy. It believes it. So you might as well tell it great things. If you put your hand up to your mouth and go, I'm eating a lemon, I'm eating a lemon, I'm eating a lemon, you can make your mind believe you're eating a lemon. If you can make your mind believe you're eating a lemon just by the words you say, then you realize you have a choice every day. Use amazing words and get amazing results, or use negative words and get negative results. And when you have a brilliant brain, which everyone has, you have a choice. Rationalize why you feel so terrible, or talk yourself out of it. It's much better. Talk yourself out of it. I want it and I'm prepared to do whatever it takes. I'm even going to enjoy it. And then you'll enjoy it. We have choices every minute of every day, and you've got to make the right choices. I studied the way the brain works for nearly 30 years, and I realized a long time ago that the brain likes what is familiar. We haven't changed that much from being in a tribe, and in a tribe, what made you safe was familiar. The same people, the same food, the same area. You didn't really wander off outside of your tribe. You didn't invite strange people into the tribe. You didn't eat food that you didn't recognize. And so our brain to this day is actually programmed to reject what is not familiar. And people don't understand that. What you mean, my brain is really going to reject success? Oh yeah, you're not used to it. In the very same way that some women who have a father that puts them down or diminishes them or doesn't give them attention, then they meet a guy that does the same thing and it's familiar. The brain goes, oh, I recognize this, I know how to deal with this, I'm used to this. When they meet a nice guy that praises them and pays the bills, they go, oh, he was too good for me. No one can be too good for you. What you're saying is his behavior was so unfamiliar, it was so alien, I rejected it and went back to what I knew. And so if you come from a family where no one's worked or no one's had money, lottery winners, interesting enough, who come from poverty will get rid of all that money, because investing is so unfamiliar. What's familiar is spending what you've got till it runs out because you never had enough. But when they get a lot, like millions, they just spend it the way they spend $100. They just buy stuff without thinking about it. And so our brain really is wired to reject anything that's unfamiliar, and it prefers what is familiar. I used to do makeup makeover shows with women who were fat. We'd give them a trainer, dietitian, exercise. We'd make them look amazing. And when the camera stopped rolling, they take off all the makeup, put on their tracksuit, and order a pizza. The thing about the familiar unfamiliar is your brain loves what is familiar. That's the truth. But you can make anything familiar. If you get up and run every day, it becomes familiar. You take sugar out of your tea and stop eating desserts for long enough, it becomes familiar. You start dating someone who's nice to you, or you get used to working at weekends on your business, it becomes familiar. So the truth is your brain tries to go back to what is familiar. It doesn't like what is unfamiliar. That's true, but it is your job if you want to have a successful relationship, if you want to have a successful body where you eat well and work out, if you want success in your career, in your love life, your relationship, because if you've got to make what is unfamiliar familiar, praise yourself. That's a great thing to make familiar. But look at what you want in your life and decide to make it familiar starting right now. Praise yourself, tell yourself you're good, believe that you're ambitious and dedicated, and any familiar stuff that you don't like procrastinating, putting yourself down, oh, it's too hard, it's too difficult, it's too boring, make that unfamiliar. You can choose every day, and there isn't that much difference in people who are really successful and who aren't, except the ones who are successful, they take full responsibility every day for the pictures they make in their head, for the words they say to themselves, and they make positive stuff familiar, and eventually anything that you do enough, it stops being what you do and it becomes who you are. So many of us never allow it to become who we are. We think it's work, and so we just give up instead of realizing that if you do something enough, you start to love it. It's like running, it's like going to the gym. First it's boring, then it's hard. If you keep going, you eventually start to love it. Pick one area, look at something in your life that's familiar and just start to work on it. I'm going to make that unfamiliar and I'm going to make opposite of that familiar, and take on an athlete's attitude to it so it becomes easier. And it absolutely will work, but you have to stick at it. You know, if you have tea with 4 sugars and you take those 4 sugars out, it tastes horrible. And then after a few weeks you think, oh my God, did I really drink that every day? It's disgusting, because anything that you do becomes familiar and anything you stop becomes unfamiliar. But the biggest thing to make familiar is praising yourself, and the biggest thing to make unfamiliar is criticizing yourself, diminishing yourself. My general philosophy is that the old method of therapy is really, really ineffective. It doesn't serve people to go and have an hour of therapy with a therapist every week for months and months and months. I believe in curing people in the room. So my philosophy is you can fix someone in an hour. An hour is plenty of time to find out what's wrong with someone and to cure them. Because really the things that make us unhappy are that we're thinking the wrong thoughts. We have beliefs that are very outdated. And of course, as children, we learn what we live. So if you live with people who aren't good to you, or make you feel that you're not good enough, or you don't deserve love, or you've got to work hard to get love, or you're not smart enough, cute enough, interesting enough. Once you buy into that as a child, and as a child you don't have any choice, because you must idealize your parents because you're dependent on them, or whoever's raising you. No kid can go, yeah, my grandmother's ill, or my dad's poor, or my mum's unhappily married. They just think, oh, they don't like me, I guess I'm not likable. And the problem is that when you buy into that, you keep that belief forever, unless you get to see a great therapist who can in minutes undo all of that and make you realize that you are way more than enough. I kind of free people from negative beliefs, but it's much more than that. A lot of people try and work out what I do, and they always say you give people freedom, and I do. I free people from all their issues and make them feel great about themselves. Science has proven that something happens in the brain when you use hypnosis. When you use my kind of transformational hypnosis, something magical happens in the brain. The brain changes during hypnosis in a way that it cannot change out of hypnosis. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to install anything in you that's scary, because, of course, I can only make you do what you want to do. Hypnosis is absolutely safe. It's actually mentioned in the Bible. In the Bible it says you will be transformed in the blinking of an eye, which is the form of hypnosis. I've never had once anyone claim on my insurance, touch wood. I've never had to use it. I've never had any situation that's been dangerous. The only thing people ever say to me on a regular basis is, wow, I've learnt more in an hour with you than 10 years with my regular therapist, and I wish I'd known this years ago.
I guarantee it's safe because it's so natural. You know, I'm talking to you and that can't be dangerous. I'm helping you, but I can only promise you it is absolutely safe and it's wonderful. Everything I have in my life I owe to hypnosis. I wouldn't have my daughter if I hadn't hypnotized myself past that doctor saying I could never have one. I wouldn't have my beautiful marriage if I hadn't decided to change the belief that I was hideous and stupid. So to be hypnotized, I want you to make yourself very comfortable. I prefer you to sit back or lie back with your feet and hands not touching. The magic is that you roll up your eyes, keep your eyeballs up, close the lids down. And if you do that, you'll find that straight away you go into what's called REM, rapid eye movement. You only get REM when you're dreaming or going into hypnosis because it means you're in a deeply suggestible state. So I want you to rehearse with me. Just look up as high as you possibly can, as if you're trying to look into your own eyebrows. Fix your eyes at a real or imagined spot overhead, and keeping your eyes glued to that real or imagined spot, just breathe in and breathe out. And the trick is to keep your eyeballs up, but at the same time, just close the lids down. So just rehearse that. Just make yourself comfortable. And I want you to lie or sit with your feet and hands not quite touching. And when you're comfortable, look up as high as you possibly can, because every time you look up, you get a burst of alpha brainwaves. And then you go into the most suggestible brainwave there is. So fix your eyes at a real or imagined spot overhead and just breathe in and breathe out. Take another deep breath, breathe in, breathe out. And just one final time, breathe in, keeping your eyeballs up. As you exhale, just close your eyelids right down, all the way down. And as your eyelids shut down, the muscles and nerves in and around your eyes are becoming heavy, droopy, drowsy. And each time you blink, that's hypnosis coming upon you. And that fluttering sensation in your eyes is the first sign that you're responding. It's called REM. And you only get REM, rapid eye movement, when you're going into hypnosis or in a deep, dreamlike state. So just let yourself go deeper. Just allow that drifting, floating feeling to continue. It really helps now if you just drop your chin just a little so you really feel that same looking down feeling that you might get as you look over a balcony or down a flight of stairs. And as I count backwards, you're going to see your feet, hear your feet, feel your feet treading each step. So let's begin now. You're moving on to step 10. As each muscle, every nerve turns loose, lets loose, and you go deeper. You're taking step 9 and 8. You can see your feet, hear your feet, feel your feet treading each step. As you move down, drift down, travel down to an even deeper level. You're taking steps 7 and 6, going deeper with every number I count. You're taking step 5 and 4. As each muscle, every nerve turns loose, lets loose, and you go deeper. You're taking step 3 and 2. As you gently, calmly, easily move on over to an even deeper level. You're taking step 1, just go deeper, sink deeper, drift deeper. And deeper just means going deeper into an awareness of yourself. You are going deeper into your own internal state. And every time I click my fingers and say the word sleep deeply, you're just becoming more and more and more relaxed. Just go deeper, drift deeper, sink deeper. And as you go deeper, you're drifting to a healing level. In this healing level, your subconscious mind is receptive. It is taking in everything. And as you're taking in everything, I need to tell you something really important. I need to tell you that you are absolutely lovable. So you begin to know that you're lovable. I see many, many clients all over the world who feel unlovable. I see so many people who really want to attract love and have a loving relationship, but they're not open to love because they feel unlovable, or because they feel so very unlovable, they reject all the love that is around them. But the truth is, you are the most lovable thing. You came onto the planet as the most gorgeous, lovable baby, and you knew too that you were lovable. If your parents took you home and shut you in a cupboard, you would have screamed for days, because you would have been certain that somebody was going to come and love you, because all babies know they're lovable. In the same way, if you buy a puppy or a kitten, it will bounce out and say, "Look at me, how lovable am I?" But if you kick it enough, of course, it will hide behind the fridge and go, maybe I'm not so lovable after all. You came onto the planet certain you are lovable, and you exist because you're lovable. And we all come through our parents. Some of our parents don't do a great job of loving us, nourishing us, but the truth is, whoever you came through, the universe created you. You came through the universe. You came through your parents, but the universe put you here. And the universe that put you here will support you in absolutely everything, most especially in knowing that you are lovable. So every time you play this recording, and you play it a lot, because it has the most stellar, the most profound, the most healing effect on you every time you play this recording. You know you are lovable. You accept yourself as lovable. You believe in yourself as lovable, and you see yourself as lovable. And something rather wonderful is happening to you, because you know that you are lovable. Everyone around you is beginning to recognize and to know that you are lovable too. Everyone around you is beginning to see that you are lovable. People all around you are beginning to see that you are lovable. You are massively increasing your sense of self-worth and self-value. You're increasing your level of self-esteem. You are increasing every day your level of lovability and your awareness of just how lovable you are. And people around you too are increasing their sense of your lovability and their awareness of just how lovable you are. You can only love another person to the degree that you love yourself. And another person can only love you to the degree that they love themselves. And the most important step to having and growing and sustaining a loving relationship is to know that you are lovable. You know you're lovable. You remind yourself of this truth every single day. You know you're lovable. Now that you know you are lovable, you are only attracted to people who also know that you are lovable. You're only attracted to people who also know that they are lovable. And now you can have a loving relationship with people all around you. Because the truth is, love is available to you. Love has always been around you. It may not have felt that way, but from this moment on, you know that you are surrounded by love. You're not a helpless child depending on love to survive. You're a grown-up person able to choose love. You're surrounded by love, and you choose love. You choose to be loving. You choose to know you are lovable. You choose to give love and to receive it back. And the more love you give, the more you get back. The more you get back, the more you have to give. You are absolutely lovable, and you feel and you experience that joy of recognizing that you are a lovable person, living around other lovable people. Love is available to you, and you are completely open now to being loved, to giving and receiving love. From this moment on and for the rest of your life, you are developing a powerful belief in just how lovable you are. You accept yourself as lovable because you are lovable. And every day, when you're playing this recording at home, you can say these words out loud. You can say them in your head too, but out loud is better. So say them out loud now. I accept myself as a lovable person. I easily express love and affection and approval. I so eagerly accept the love and affection that surrounds me now and always. I'm filled and nourished by the love that surrounds me, and I fill and nourish other people with my love. I deserve love because I'm loving and lovable. I give love and I receive it because I'm loving and lovable. I'm unique. I have special qualities. There's no one else in the world quite like me. There hasn't been before, and there won't be again. Anyone exactly like me. I have a place in the world. I'm meant to be here. I belong to life. Life belongs to me. I approve of myself as a loving person. And the universe that created me is supporting me in everything I do, most especially in knowing and recognizing that I am lovable. You say these words over and over again. Very soon these words go with you. They stay embedded in you. They have a powerful, healing, all-pervasive impact on you. And even without this recording, you hear these words and you remember that you are lovable. You do easily express love and affection and approval. You do easily accept the love that surrounds you now and all the time. And you are so wonderfully filled, nourished, sustained by all the love that is around you. And you equally fill and nourish and sustain other people with your love because you're a loving person, you're a unique person. You're meant to be here, you matter, you are significant. You're important to life, and that's life. Why? You're important to life, and that is why life put you on the planet. It's why it made you unique. And the same universe that created you supports you in everything you do, especially in knowing that you belong, that you matter, that you are significant, and of course that you are absolutely lovable, always have been, always will be. So just let yourself go deeper. And as you go deeper, you are lovable. You're not your past. You're not your childhood. You're certainly not your bank account. You're not the numbers in your bank account, the numbers on your scales. You're not your age, your weight, your size, your shape. You're not even your body. These are all the wrappings. What you are is lovable. And if you've had any doubts about just how lovable you are, even if you want to resist believing that you ever thought you weren't lovable, just remember you're in good company. Marilyn Monroe, Princess Diana, and many, many other people like that too had great problems believing they were lovable. They needed the whole world to love them because they didn't think they were lovable. And even when the whole world did love them, it didn't really help them because they didn't ever believe they were lovable. And so you can see that the person who really has to love you is you. No one else can do it for you. If you want a wonderful person to love you, you have to love you first so that you know you're worthy of being with that wonderful person, so that wonderful person knows that you are worthy of being with. Marilyn needed the whole world to love her. And she said once, I have to belong to the whole world because I've never belonged to anyone or anything in my life. And that's really sad because the truth is, You don't need to belong to the whole world. You don't need the whole world to love you. You need you to love you from this moment on. You are doing a stellar job, a phenomenal job, an impressive job of knowing you are lovable. You don't need to chase love. You don't need to work for love. You don't need to earn love. You certainly don't need to beg for love. You don't even need to crave love, because you are love. You are lovable, you are love, and love is all around you. And you are letting it in. Some of the most important words you will ever hear in your whole life are let it in. And you are lovable. So as you say those words, I am lovable, and as you let that in, it is changing your life in the most incredible way. You don't need to chase love. You don't need to run after love. You don't need to pursue it or work at it. You don't need to earn it or beg or plead for it. You don't even need to feel its absence. Love is all around you, and you are letting it in. And it's having a wonderful effect on you. And even if right now you think that you are all alone, it's okay. Because the more you remind yourself of just how lovable you are, the more you begin to be surrounded by people who love you and are loved by you. You are lovable. And I want you to think of all the words you'd like to hear. You see, we all have a missing piece. Everyone has something that they wanted to hear. I'm a good kid. I'm a loving person. I'm a great son or daughter. I'm smart. I'm lovable. I'm cute. I'm nice. I'm good company. So I want you to think about what it is you most wanted your mother or father, your brothers or sisters, your grandparents, your teacher, a relative, your partner, even your own children. What is it that you most wanted to hear? We all want to hear the same thing. I'm lovable, I'm a good person, I'm nice. I have something to offer, I matter, I count, I'm significant. So one more time, I'm going to ask you the same question. What do you most want to hear? What is your missing piece? And now I want you to say it to yourself. I am. Finish that sentence and say it out loud. I am lovable. I'm a good person. I'm a great kid. I'm kind and lovable. I'm wonderful. I'm beautiful. Just keep going and say everything. And remember as you're saying this that the most important words you'll ever hear in your whole life are the words you say to yourself and believe. The most important opinion for you is your own opinion. When you need other people to tell you good things, it makes you needy. And when you tell yourself good things, you grow in lovability. And you're growing in lovability right now. So just one more time for just a few more minutes. Just think about the piece that's missing, the praise you didn't get, the words you didn't hear. And some people wait 20 or 30 years to hear some praise from a parent who isn't even on the planet. Don't wait. Say those words to yourself. They'll have more impact. They will heal you more. They will benefit you more. So whatever you wanted to hear, needed to hear, would like to have heard, didn't get to hear, say it now. Say it out loud. Say it with feeling. Say it like you mean it. Let it in and remember. Your mind learns by repetition. Just keep saying those words out loud right now. Keep going. Say them again. Your mind learns by repetition. Repeat them more. And just one more time, say those words out loud. No, they are going in. They are having a wonderful effect on you. And I want you to play this recording a lot. I want you to play this recording every day for at least 3 weeks, and then even longer. And after 3 weeks of constant, continuous repetition, you can then play the recording once or twice a week. Remember, your mind does what it thinks you want it to do. You want to know, to recognize, to accept, to believe, to really feel with every part of your being that you are lovable. And your mind gets that, it understands that every time you play this recording. Your inner mind, the most driving part of you, is motivating you, conditioning you, compelling you, programming you to know you are lovable. And these words are having such a powerful effect on you. They are overruling any negative words. You're replacing any negative thoughts, words, beliefs with new, powerful, constructive ones, as you understand that you have so much power to recognize how lovable you are and to have other people recognize it too. And you are using that power every day. Every day you play this recording, you go to a deep level. Your body is controlled by a network of intelligence, which is influenced by your own mind as you play this recording. You drift so deep, you go to a level where you are influencing your mind influences your body. You influence your mind, you have made up your mind, set your mind, programmed and conditioned your mind to accept, to know, and to remind you in the most wonderful biofeedback on a regular basis that you are lovable. And all you do every day is hear these words, think these thoughts, see these images. Just hearing these words is causing your mind to picture and to manifest exactly what I am describing. You hear these words, your mind sees these images, and then it creates them. You're remembering that you were born lovable. As you remember this, you are reactivating it. And as you reactivate it, you are remembering how lovable you are with one part of your mind and forgetting all the doubt with the other part. Remembering everything you need to remember, forgetting everything that you need to forget, and responding wonderfully to these direct mental commands. You're changing your thinking. You're changing your very belief system. That is changing your biology. It's changing your biochemistry. You radiate lovability. It's all so easy. It isn't even what you do. It is such a permanent, powerful, wonderful, liberating, healing, and freeing part of who you are. And this image of you as lovable, this image is so real, so clear, so lifelike. It is so attainable. It is you more so with every moment that passes, because everything is in the right place at the right time, motivating you, conditioning you, compelling you to know you're lovable. You don't even need to look over or around or why it was anything other than that, because every level of your mind, body, and psyche knows whatever went on in your past, you always have been. You always will be lovable. You're lovable now. And as you know it, believe it, feel it, see it, experience, and let it in, you can slowly, calmly, easily, effortlessly return to your full awareness, feeling transformed, and feeling that transforming is ongoing. So on the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, feeling wonderful, feeling proud of yourself for doing this, and most of all feeling and knowing just how lovable you are. Just open up your eyes, fill up your lungs, take a long, deep breath. But of course, if ever you play this recording in bed at night before sleeping, you will right now drift into the most healing, wonderful sleep. You will dream the most healing dreams, and you will go to bed every night Wake up every morning reminding yourself and knowing the truth. You are lovable, always have been, always will be, and you can sleep on that wonderful truth right now. I have 3 different types of clients. My first category of clients, they want everything: love, success, money, health, but they have an interesting belief, which is you can't have everything all the time. No one can have everything all the time. They already believe that what they want is not possible, and they're already defeated because they have interesting belief. I want it, but it's not possible. My second group of clients, they actually do have it all. They might have a great business, it fails, they get another great business. They might have had one great marriage, but that went wrong. They're in a second one because their belief is you can have it all, but the price you pay is unbearable. You pay the price of your health, or something has to give for you to have it all. And then I have my third group of clients, the group I call the 1%ers, who have it all. They have a beautiful relationship that's long-lasting. They have an extraordinary career. They have plenty of money. They also have health and well-being, and they have inner peace too. I was able to identify the 8 transformational beliefs or transformational thinking they have. Changing people is actually, I find, incredibly easy. If you pick up these 8 transformational tools and use them, it will make your life extraordinary. And what I do is I install incredible empowering beliefs in people. But first, I take out all the old stuff. I remove all the negative beliefs, all the limiting stuff. And when it's gone, your mind is so receptive to the new stuff. But I don't think you can keep putting in new stuff while the old stuff is there, because here's a rule of the mind. It really is a rule. Your mind cannot hold conflicting beliefs. That is a rule of the mind. Science has proven it. To let in new beliefs, you've got to first get rid of the old beliefs. You can't fix what you don't understand. And you can't heal what you don't understand. And so many of my patients come in and go, I don't know why I do that. I guess I'm just damaged. I have no idea why I mess up all the time. I guess that's just me. After today, when you can go, oh, actually, I know exactly why I do that. And guess what? I don't need to do it ever again. Now your life is transformed. It's liberating and freeing. Here's the thing. First you make your beliefs, and then your beliefs make you, and then you go out into the world, and guess what the world does? It matches what you believe. But the problem is that we are acting off beliefs that someone else gave us when we were tiny. And of course, the mind can't hold conflicting beliefs. So believing and longing for a wonderful relationship, an extraordinary career, while having this belief that actually no one in our family's ever made anything, we're not that bright, or we're just blue-collar workers here. So now you have one belief that will cancel out the other belief. And you've got to be very careful to make extraordinary beliefs. You want an extraordinary life? Make extraordinary beliefs.
I've looked at my clients who've got everything, and I do have some clients who have everything. They have masses of money, they have a beautiful relationship with their partner, they have health and wealth, and they have a good relationship with themselves. They go to the gym, they eat well, they put themselves first. And what I noticed about those people is that they have a couple of things they do that other people don't do. So I studied people who've got everything, and then I started to teach my other clients who haven't got everything how to have everything. And then I made this program called the Uncompromised Life, and it really is about how to have a phenomenal business that pays really well. It's about how to attract an amazing relationship that lasts forever, and how to be a great parent should you decide in that relationship you want children. It's also about how to have the stuff you want: a really great physical health, emotional health, well-being, peace, great body, a great attitude to what you eat and how you take care of yourself, and to really like yourself, have peace, and want to share it with other people. Each week there's a different lesson out of all those things, and each lesson is kind of layering onto the next one, and each week there's a hypnosis, there's a hypnotic audio to listen to. I am getting extraordinary feedback. Somebody was saying that she listened to the recording and she said, the next day I didn't know what I was feeling. And then I suddenly realized I was feeling love, like so much love for myself. Someone else came on and said, you had these terrible sweaty palms. She's actually had her sweat glands clamped and it's just stopped. People are reporting astonishing breakthroughs in their physical health, in their emotional health, in their careers. In fact, one woman, that was so sweet, she hadn't got any money and she really wanted to go to AFES, and she listened to this first day of this program and she suddenly got this $90,000 commission a week later. As an artist, I haven't had any money for a year. I kept doing what you told me to do about manifesting, and she said, I've got the money now to go to AFES. It's like a miracle. It's an amazing program. I've been known for getting phenomenal results with my clients in one session. I'm known for that. Therapists send me the clients they can't get. Doctors and psychiatrists send me the clients they can't cure. And I'm known for taking the most difficult person and turning them around in an hour.
People who've got everything have maybe 5 habits that people don't have. And then they have a few interesting little thought habits that people who don't succeed don't have. So I started teaching my clients who haven't got everything, the habits and the thoughts of my clients who have. And I wasn't actually that surprised to see how quickly they got everything, because I did it to myself and noticed how incredibly successful I became when I just did these few little things. And what I love the most about these little things is that tiny little adjustments that have results that have all proportion the effort you put in, because we're all working. Nobody wants to go, yeah, I've got this program, I've got to read a book every night, write 100 goals in a folder every night, listen to 8 CDs. I mean, nobody's got time for that, including me. An Uncompromised Life will change you while you're listening to the program. It's a bit different because it's a kind of like a lesson. I'm not teaching, that's really boring. I'm engaging with you and showing you stuff and telling you stuff and doing some fun little things with you. And then you have an audio download to listen to every week and just a tiny little bit of written work. So Uncompromised Life, it's probably the best work I've ever done. My hypnosis is what I call commanding hypnosis. It's very direct, it's very compelling, it's very transforming. And so I do a lot of transformational hypnosis where you go back and you look at, where did that belief come from? Why do I do that? And when you understand, especially in hypnosis, you're going to do the next bit, which is free you from it, so that you can really take on a winning attitude, a winning belief system, a winning mentality. It isn't even what you do within weeks. It actually is who you are. So this is not about what you do, it's who you become. People say to me when I go to school reunions, oh my God, you're so different. You're that insecure, self-conscious girl, which I was, so insecure, so self-conscious. I could never imagine I'd do this. And they said, what do you do? I'm like, yeah, but it's not what I do. It's just who I've become. I made some changes and then I became those changes, and now it's who I am and it's who you're going to be. So I really hope you come on board. I have a great belief that these 1%ers belong to a club. And if you want to join that club, these are the membership dues. You don't have to pay any money. You have to pick up a few new habits of thought, belief and action, and then you join that club of people who've got everything, are really happy, and share with other people and make them really happy too. So come on board. It's a great place to be. Every thought you think has a physical reaction. When men see a very sexual image, they have a very physical reaction to a thought. When we see pictures of food on screen, we start to create digestive enzymes. So we know that every thought you think has a physical reaction and an emotional response. And we know now, for instance, in England, when doctors are performing surgery, they're not allowed to say anything like, oh, this is a nightmare or this is a disaster. They can't say it because they know that even under anesthesia, the mind picks up stuff. We know that children pick up stuff. And the mind is rather like a child. It just believes everything it hears. So it's very important to make sure your mind hears extraordinary things and believes them. And then you can have an extraordinary life because you have a choice. When you have a brilliant brain, here's your choice. Rationalize why you feel so bad or talk yourself out of it. I'm going to show you how to talk yourself out of it so effectively that it isn't even what you do. It's who you are. It will change your life.